Hello everyone, this is Yella, your friendly advisor in Ireland. As I promised last time, I'm going to make a mortgage process series, and this is the first of all the episodes that's going to come on that particular series. In this video, I'm going to talk about the step one. The step one is how to save money to buy home in Ireland. This is applicable to any country. I mean, if you're in India, it's applicable to you. If you're in the US, it's applicable to you. But most of the terms I'll be using in this call or in this video would be the terms that are used in Ireland. But again, it's a strategy to save money to buy home. Without further ado, let's just dive in. Whatever you see, the 7 steps are the steps which I personally followed uh, when I was saving money for my first house in Ireland. The first step is to clear all the debts. Clear the high interest, high EMI debts first, and then you can move on to low interest, low EMI debts. Uh, Debts actually have an impact on the amount of mortgage you're taking, though the impact is not direct. It it has a lot of relevance with respect to your payments and the risks the bank can take in giving you mortgage. For example, let's say you earn 2,000 euros a month and you pay 1,000 towards rent and 500 towards the car loan which you have. Now, if the bank is wants to give you a loan, it certainly will ask you questions around the car loan because you're losing 500 towards the car loan. They'll be asking questions on how long would you have the car loan? Would you be clearing it off before? Because the repayment capacity decreases because of another loan. And even the stress testing, which the banks does, they take off this particular money of your net income, and that gives you much less mortgage amount that you can access for. So clear all the debts. Like in my case, I cleared my education loan completely before I started the mortgage process or saving process to start looking for mortgage. Set a fixed date to start saving, and this fixed date will depend upon the previous loan which you paid off. For me, in my case, it was June 2020. By then, I closed all the education loan and other loans which I had, and then from then on, I started saving for the home. And most of the banks look for a 6 months of steady saving, and that's very important. So if you are thinking of buying house in next year, fix a date to pay off your debts, fix the date to start saving, and save for at least 6 months before you go ask banks for mortgage approval in principle. AIP is approval in principle. Most of the banks give you AIP before they offer you the final offer letter on the mortgage process and then the drawdown. So the first thing is you have to get approval in principle. For that, you need to show at least 6 months of saving. Third is the other way to save money is to set up a standing order. In my case, in August last year, I started a mortgage saver account with Bank of Ireland because they had a 2K bonus on mortgage saver account if you draw down with Bank of Ireland. And you need to contribute minimum of 200 and at least for 6 months. And you need to have at least 5K in your mortgage saver account to be eligible for 2K bonus. I'll be talking about other such things in the future videos, but in this video, it's just that the standing order will take off certain money from your salary every month. So that's money saved directly, though it doesn't have a lot of interest, but you can't take the money off it. So if you plan to save 1,000 euros in the mortgage saver account, in 6 months it's 6,000. If you do not have a mortgage saver account, and if the 6,000 is laying in your own current account, you will be you'll have this itch to buy the modern newest iPhone or a new technology headphones. To control that, you can set up a standing order which pushes the money into an account where it's difficult to draw down money. Number four, a lot of people I see here, they do a lot of eating outside, they do a lot of takeout, they drink coffee most of the times, which I personally, I used to, but again, I stopped doing that since June because every coffee is 3.5 euros. You basically imagine if you are drinking a coffee a week, then imagine in 6 months, it's 27 weeks, 27 and 3.5, it's close to 100 euros. So You are basically saving it. And I know people who take out coffee twice a day. Imagine what are the savings in their case. It's 14 times 100, 1400. So that's good money, a good money saved towards your home. And the fifth one there is, I mean, there is this always fear of missing out, but a lot of people drink alcohol, and alcohol is not cheap. If you are partying every week, you're basically sending 50 to 60 euros on the food and the drinks every week. And over 6 months, it's basically 27 to 50, it's 1350. Oh, yeah, close to 1350. That's a good money too. So if you add 1400, 1350, 2700, just because you stopped drinking and you stopped drinking coffee and alcohol. Both are not good for health. I mean, coffee is good if you're working out. If not, it's not. So yeah, just was to stop drinking coffee and alcohol. You're saving 2,700 over 6 months. That's a really good money to save. Number six is, if you're paying high rent now, I would suggest to move to a low rent place so that you save money on renting. For example, you're renting a apartment now for 1,600, and you're getting an opportunity to move an apartment where it's 1,200. Though it's a smaller place, but it will save you 400 euros a month. Over 6 months is 2,400. Add them up, it's you already saved more than 5K in savings. And the seventh one is, your mortgage approval depends upon your salary. You get 3.5 times your salary uh, on normal basis. There are a few exemptions, but I'll be making another video on how to get exempt, which I got personally. But again, as it's 3.5 times your salary, and you can also not get mortgage when you're on a probation, and most of the companies have 6 months probation. I would suggest you to change jobs once you start saving for your house, so that once you change jobs, you have increased salary. If you have increased salary, you have 3.5 times the increased salary as additional mortgage amount that you can access. So I hope you follow these. And I did not change jobs. Luckily, my wife got a job, and we had additional income to save for in our case. But again, if you are thinking or targeting a home with a certain value and you think you can't reach it, I would suggest you to change jobs. Now, I'll take you through few examples, which when this is an Excel which I created for myself, but I'm not putting my numbers there. But again, this you can use this as an indication, and you can budget your savings and the mortgage thing. And if you want this template, I can send it to you. You just need to email at allaboutireland247@gmail.com. I'll be putting it in the description too. Now, I have three cases here. Three cases being two salaries in the family, both wife and husband work, and both have high salaries. When I say high salary, 60K and above, but I'm going with 60K in this case. Two, and in the other case is called two salaries, where one has high salary, the other one has low salary, and the third case is one salary. So I'll be taking through each of these cases, and you will see how the expenses change, and what you should be targeting, and how much you can save, and so on. Now, in the first case there, two salaries, both high and high. I'm going with 6K, 60K, and a monthly net income of 3500. And if you see here, I put the rent at 1700. Yes, you can get two-bedroom apartments for 1700 in Dublin. And I'm going with a basic insurance for both wife and husband. Let's say even if they have kids, there's no insurance charge on the kids till they are 6. Uh, so I'm going with 100, like, which is the basic plan. Some may have insurance, some may not have insurance. So based on that, you can change this amount. Mobile and internet, yes, broadband, you get it for 30, 35 euros, and two mobiles if you recharge them every month. So 2020. So I'm going with 80 there. Electricity, yes. I mean, we are charged electricity for 2 months here, and we personally get 150, 160, 120. If it's summer, we just get 80 euros per month. So I'm going with an average there of 100 per month. And yeah, travel, yes. Now you basically save a lot of money on travel. There's no Dublin bus, and you're not traveling and commuting to the office, or you can't even travel more than 5 kilometers in the current lockdown. So you might be saving a lot of money with travel, but if you do not know, in normal cases, you will be spending 160 on your commute if you do not have a car. If you have a car, it maybe you'll be paying car insurance and you'll be paying other costs. So this is basically the expenses which I have. But yeah, this is the one which I experienced and I put it down there. But you can add the other expenses which you have to understand how much you are spending monthly and how much you can save on monthly. And remit is like, if you're a non-EU, you do transfer some money to your countries. In my case, I did transfer some money to India, and I had to explain to the advisor that I transferred that money because I have to maintain family in India. So based on that, whatever your average number per month is, you can put it down and you get the monthly expenses bit there. If you see here, the rent is the biggest expense. So if you're a couple with no kids, you can move into a one-bedroom apartment just like us and save that 300, sorry, yeah, 300 on rent. You know, that's the tip which I gave you earlier. Now, and if you are getting 60K each, you're getting close to 7,000 euros a month, and and if you take out the expenses, you can save 4160 per month. Now, that over 10 months would be 41,600. That's a really good savings to target for a house. Now, I have HTB in red there primarily because uh, HTB, you need to draw down before December 31st, 2021 to avail for HTB. If you cannot draw down before that, I'm not sure if there'll be help to buy scheme next year, given that there's going to be shared equity scheme. But again, you need to wait till October budget sessions to understand if SCB is extended or not. But again, uh, given the new case of shared equity fund, shared equity scheme, you may need to have even lesser deposit. But in any case, I'm not considering HDB in this example, and I'm going with whatever savings you are going to save. And I'm going with current balances, given that you might be having extra money of all the payments, and if you're not, even if you did not start saving, there may be around 5K in your account. So I'm again assuming it, and that will give you on 31st March close to 46,600, and 3.5 times 1,200 is 420K, and if you add that up, that's what you can target for. It is 466K somewhere there. You basically need to pay 10% of the target home as deposit, and that comes to 4,600, and that's close to what you have saved. But again, then what it does, once you pay deposit and then you get the keys, it will take a month or 2 months or 3 months. Even during those months, you'll be saving money. So you can use that money to pay for the legal fees, to pay for the stamp duty, to pay for the search, and you can also use that money to pay for flooring and all. But again, yeah. So what I mean to say in this particular sheet is, in 10 months, you'll be ready to pay a deposit, approve per principal, and you'll have a good savings record so that any bank will be willing you to give more money, and they can also, your savings record will also help you get exemption. About exemption, I'll be talking in another video clearly. The second case is, salary 160K, salary to 30K. And you see, if you see the savings did decrease because the other person is not earning on par with the other person, with the primary breadwinner. But again, in that case, they'll be looking at a cheap rental, like 1,400. Again, insurance, mobile phone, other bills. They may reduce a few. They may stop remitting back to India to show more savings. As far as I heard, most of the exemptions you get it if you show 3,300 as savings per month. In our case, that was true. But yeah, again, you never know. 10% here and there, they might be more than happy to give you an exemption. But again, I'll be talking about that in another video. In this case, if you see, uh, because the other person has less salary, the mortgage approval fell down by huge amount, which was 420K here, fell down to 315K. And over 10 months, even the savings fell down. So yeah, the target home, they should be targeting around 350K rather than 440K houses. But again, if you want to target 400, 440K house, I would suggest you to save for another 10 months or 12 months if you're okay to kill your money in rents. Else, find a house which is in that budget range, move in, If you do not like it, leave there for 5 6 years, sell it, and trade up for another house. It's easy here, not as difficult as it is elsewhere. So yeah, that's how you need to budget if you have two salaries, high and low. The last thing, this is where it gets very tricky. If you have a single salary, how do I buy house in Ireland? Because you'll be paying a lot of money in rent. Um, Again, I would suggest you to, if you have a spouse who has skill but is not working, I would suggest you to make, I mean, make her or him to work part time or build skills to get a full time job. If that's not possible, if she's taking care of kids because of the crash charges, I would suggest, yeah, we, I would suggest her to, again, I would suggest you to find ways to save more money. As simple as that. Even in this case, the expenses don't really change because the rent is high. If you're a couple, you need to have a house for yourself. But what I know is a lot of couples share their apartments. They take a two-bedroom and they share the apartment with the other person and bring down the rent. Yeah, that's the other way to do that. And I also know a few people who are Irish who stay with their parents to save money on rent, and that's also possible. Uh, Save money. I mean, whatever you can do, because rent is like 60% to 70% of your expenses. So if you cut down as much as you can on the rent, it works wonders for you. And even you can move if you, because of the remote working, if you want, you can, if your company is allowing you to do that, you can move to a remote place in Ireland and pay very less money on the rent. Like I know people who moved to Donegal, they used to pay 800 here, they're just paying 300 or 400 there, so it's 1400 straight away profit. Yeah. uh, if you're a single person, if you're not a couple, the numbers differ, and it's easy to save more, as you can see here. Sorry, there, as you can see here, and you can also target a bigger house, because you have got a lot of savings. You can also add that to your AIP and go for a bigger house. Yeah, so it's kind of difficult on a single salary with a family of 60K. 60K in Indian money would be more than 50 lakhs now. But again, the truth is you'll be losing money on the taxes and the expense towards rent. So my suggestions would be, if you don't drink coffee outside, if you don't drink alcohol, if you stop eating out and look for a rental place where you pay less rent, you'll save more. And that's how you have to do. Uh, yeah, if you want to buy the house quick. Else, if you see here, you may need to save three more three more times. It is like 30 months to get to 40K or 50. I mean, in this case, yeah. So that's the thing. It's little difficult, but yeah, you can try ways to do that, or else you'll be paying rent money for years to come, and that will not help you in owning a house. You'll be losing money rather than building your equity and worth. That's it. That's how I budgeted my own savings towards my mortgage. I had, I mean, the balances. I had few good money at the end of June before even I started saving, and yeah, I started saving from June. And what we used to do is we used to uh, send 2,500 euros directly into our mortgage saver account, and that kind of helped us to build the what do you call the trust for the banks to look at our numbers. They looked at the 6 month statement and they're like, okay, these guys indeed save a lot of money a month. And we got exemption. Our AAP process was easy. Offer letter was easy. No questions asked. And yeah, make life easy. Save more. That's it. I hope this video helped you. And if you have any questions, please comment below under comments, and I'll be putting some more information in the description for your help, for your own help. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day.